Super Earth, our home. Prosperity. Liberty.
Hi there.
Democracy. Our way of life.
Oh, hello.
But freedom doesn't come free. No! Sweet liberty! No! Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life. Prove to yourself that you have the strength and the courage to be free.
Join the Helldivers. Become part of an elite peacekeeping force. See exotic new life forms. And spread managed democracy throughout the galaxy. Become a hero. Become a legend. Become a Helldiver.
Alrighty then. Well, good morning, everybody. It's patch day. We got new Warbond, new patch notes, and all kinds of stuff, and even a new roadmap. So we're gonna check that stuff out. Let's see here. So. Why is my display not working? That's amazing. Dude. There we go. Must have been an update, reset my settings. Anyway. Yeah, so this new Entrenched division, though, pretty cool. I mean, I'm assuming if you're here, you've already seen the trailer for it, but we went ahead and jumped in. Let's see, flip back over here. Got a few things already. Got this Stoker. It looks pretty good. Gotta try out all this stuff. 50% resistance to explosive damage. Increases initial inventory and holding capacity by 2. So that's gonna be pretty good for the new grenade that they gave us, because that thing only comes with 2 by default. So this will let you have 4. And let's see, this is the hazmat version. It's pretty interesting to see how they've expanded their armor passive capabilities now, because now it's, maybe they just tweaked the wording, but you got a grenadier version and the hazmat version. It's a creative way to do business. Yeah, no, right? Let's check out this roadmap. They just released it in their Discord a few minutes ago. I'll flip over to that. All right, so roadmap, major update 6.0. New biome, mega factories, vehicle, bastion tank, time limit event, battle for cyberstand, superstore content. So those have already been done. As, of course, this is all major update 6.0 in general. Enemies, cyborgs, Vox engine mission, new missions, new warbond. That was 6.0, 6.1, new enemies, new galactic war campaigns, new mission, new warbond, quality of life fixes and rebalances. That's March, so we just had that one today. Possibly we'll get additional tweaks on Friday because they also announced in their Discord that they had to disable the one true flag because they were getting a lot of reports of crashes or something. So that has been disabled while they figure out what's causing the crashes. So that's unfortunate, but the one true flag is one of the things that they just updated with this patch, so you know how it is. So that's too bad, but you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. So April 6.2, 2 new biomes we're gonna get, new galactic war campaigns, new enemy variant, new war bond. Wait. A new enemy variant in addition to what we're gonna get this Friday? Really? That's pretty slick. Okay. We'll get another war bond, of course. Quality of life fixes and rebalances, right? That's going to be ongoing. And then in June, let's see, April, May, June. Okay, so 2 months after that, in 6.3, we'll get another new biome, more galactic war campaigns, another war bond, and fixes and rebalances. So, you know, understandably, fixes and rebalances will be an ongoing thing, as we would expect. And as far as the new Galactic War campaigns, I would need to think. I mean, we already know we get major order updates. But as far as like campaigns, I wonder what exactly they mean by that, because major orders are not exactly campaigns, right? But maybe the campaign, I'm going to assume, is what they mean, like whenever they introduced Cyberstan and we were trying to take it off the map and lay siege and all that stuff. So it must be like the big stuff like that, the big, huge story campaigns, which will be comprised of a bunch of major orders and things like that, right? No, it's not a roadmap of what we've finished. It's just including since the beginning of update 6.0, which was the Cyberstan update. And then now it has March for what we're getting in March, and then we'll have another update in April and another update in June as far as major updates, I guess. They said in the Discord announcement that they don't want to reveal too much, but they at least want to give us an idea of what to look forward to. So, you know, this March update, new enemies, new campaign, new mission, new warbond, and of course balancing and stuff. And in April we'll get 2 new biomes, more campaign stuff, another enemy variant, new warbond, and then so on and so forth. So that's pretty good. That gives us an idea of like, I mean, it's exactly what you would expect, like a roadmap. You know, it tells you, right? If you actually look at a roadmap, you can see highways, roadways, you can see cities, you can see mountains, you can see rivers, you can see lakes, but you don't get to see all the details unless you actually get there, right? Yeah. Well, they had previously like touched on, you know, the whole roadmap thing, but you know, they always were hesitant, at least in part, because they didn't want to reveal too much stuff. But I mean, this is perfectly fine as a framework, I think. At least it gives people an idea of like, oh, okay, well, you know, stuff will happen at this time, so that's good. Yeah, a lot of the, even like the like the patch update video, like they were talking about how, you know, they're listening to the feedback and all this kind of stuff, and they have to make their decisions about what to work on now, what do they have time to work on, all this kind of stuff. And like they were talking about when they talked about the grenade launcher, because they reverted that from heavy pen to medium pen. You know, they said that the idea was that they wanted it to be a little bit more useful against the bots and the Illuminate, but it was just too strong for the Terminids in particular, so they reverted it. But now the belt fed grenade launcher is still heavy pen, so that gives it a leg up over the other one. So now hopefully it'll, you know, make the community at large feel a little bit more comfortable with it, because, you know, the they even said that the general feedback for the original grenade launcher was like, this is nice, but it's too much, right? Which is, yeah, that about sums it up. I mean, it was nice, but it was like, wow, this is doing a lot. I didn't feel like it definitely to me felt like something that was a little over the top, but it was fun. And if you're on like the like super hell dive and stuff, especially against the cyborgs, it was like those were still tough, but you know, they touched on a lot of stuff. So then their patch notes, I guess we can go over those patch notes too. Let's see. Patch notes. Where is it? Oof. Okay. And then where are the patch notes themselves? Now that's the known issues, and as for the patch notes that we can just read, here we go. Yeah, so let's see. Zoom this in a little bit. Yeah, so we'll go over the keynotes of this stuff. Yeah, it made things quite a bit different whenever it was AP4. So I am all right with that change. So on Friday is whenever the new Illuminate stuff is actually going to launch. Today is just the patch day and the war bond, which honestly is kind of nice because that way it gives us time to settle into the new patch update and unlock and get familiar with the Entrenched division stuff before we go in full send into the next Illuminate faction update. So that's a pretty good, I think that's a good decision on their part. Let's see, they've already authorized the Entrenched division, blah, blah, blah. All right, patch highlights. Now, the new Illuminate piloted constructs is going to be the Veraciter and the Gatekeeper. Yeah, Norm, I generally don't, like, I'm slow to jump onto just outright calling things good or bad because I see how they perform differently depending on if you're going solo or quick play or like full coordination. Like those are three very different scenarios, and the game just plays differently and weapons play differently. So That's not to say that there are never cases where something just is just really bad or like super, super good, right? But, you know, stuff like that is, uh, it makes for good headlines and sensationalism, and I try to avoid that, and maybe to my own detriment. Sterilizer feels weak for sure. In a lot of cases, it takes a lot of cooperation to really get it going. But once you get familiar with it, you know, you can do it. But it's not flashy. Part of the trouble with something like the sterilizer is that unless you kit out for it yourself, like bring like a guard dog. Oh, is your internet struggling, or is it my connection? You have to let me know. Hopefully it's... Oh yeah, I need to update those settings. I keep forgetting to do that. Give me just a moment here while I make some adjustments. Okay, there's that. All right. I think that should be updated now, so. Okay. So those are the known issues. Anyway. Yeah, the slugger. I'm still a fan. It's just a close range deal. A lot of folks, you know, when it comes to the teamwork stuff, they just it's just not a dynamic a lot of people are familiar with or get used to. So, and I understand that. Anyhow, let's get back to these patch notes. So we're gonna have the new Veraciter, close quarters. So those are gonna be basically enemy exosuits, the Veraciter and the Gatekeeper, which is what they showed us in the footage. One of them is gonna be a melee unit, and one of them is gonna be a ranged unit. Obtruder is basically a watcher, but it's gonna come in swarms and shoot at us. And then whatever the Illuminate Appropriators are going to be. They kind of just showed us like a screenshot, but I don't think they really showed us them in combat, so that'll be cool. Okay. Illuminate fleets. Mindless masses set on taking over swaths of territory. Fewer Illuminate units deploying vast hordes of voteless and flesh mobs. Oh, I saw this in here actually, which is pretty cool. Let's see here. Yeah, so they updated it on the war map now to have mindless masses. The Illuminate are converting large numbers of Super Earth citizens into voteless type enemies on this planet, prepare to face a twisted, indoctrinated horde. So this is so exciting to me because this means that like when we see this one, according to the description in the patch notes, it's going to be mostly voteless and flesh mobs, and like going to be less in terms of actual like Illuminate enemies themselves, and I'm super happy about that because it means if you want to have like a dedicated like zombie like experience, then you can. And I totally love doing that sometimes. I get like the Resident Evil vibes and stuff, you know? So I'm really, really excited to see how that plays out. Hope they're sticking to Illuminate not having armor greater than medium. Well, from the looks of it, just from like the video and stuff, well, we don't know for sure, but I'm going to assume that they're being bigger, meaner enemies. They're going to have a little bit heavier armor. Maybe it's not going to be, you know, I don't know. It's hard to say if they're going to be moving up to like heavy and anti-tank armor, and maybe they're just going to have more armor HP, but still at the medium penetration. We'll see. But it wouldn't surprise me to just see him introducing like dedicated tank units and stuff like that. Let's see. They're going to introduce the exostorms. So now we can get struck by lightning, so that's going to be awesome. With 3 different levels of strength of these storms, so that'll be pretty slick. New mission, destroy the Exospire. From the video, it kind of looks like this is going to be similar to the caves for the Terminids, because it looked like we had to destroy a shield, and then we have to get into, yeah, it's subterranean shield generators, so the storms originate from Illuminate technology in the form of exospires. Destroy the exospires and clear the storm. Protected by a force shield. Locate the access nodes to the subterranean shield generators and overload them. And then after you do that, then you enter the chamber and destroy the core by eliminating dark fluid cells that maintain it. So yeah, this is going to be kind of similar to the Terminid caves, except it's going to be more, you know, squid themed with like their weird voodoo looking stuff. So that's going to be pretty slick. And of course they said the flamethrowers, smaller to medium-sized enemies will, in general, will be slower while getting flamed with a flamethrower, and small to medium automatons, small to large terminids, and small to medium illuminates will be confused and panic when getting flamed in the face, which leads to them attacking randomly. But you know, specifically when getting flamed in the face. So, you know, the way I read this is that while you're actively shooting them with fire, they'll have that confused panic effect, and then when you stop, they'll recover from it. Which, you know, fair enough. So it's not going to be a full replacement for the sterilizer, but it is going to make it easier for you to, you know, stand your ground with the flamethrower against the horde. And then primary weapons, got some buffs. Some stuff was just housekeeping, like the weapon function for the 1-2. Loyalist, that got extra magazine capacity bump up by 1, and it charges a 1/4 second faster now. The stem pistol heals 100% more, so I think originally it was like it would heal you for 40% of your health. And so now it should be healing you for 80% of your health. So it's almost a full stim effect, but it's still going to be slower and not at completely full. But that's quite a buff. And then they increased the muzzle velocity from 100, or excuse me, from 200 to 300. So hopefully that'll make it a lot easier to shoot. So that'll be interesting. Stim pistols are pretty fun to use. We can we can climb the resupply now, but only with manual climbing, not auto climb. That's a welcome change. Harvester looks heavy too, but has medium spots. Hope it remains a theme. It would be so much less fun if as much as heavy pin was necessary. Yeah, we'll see. Hard to say. Pros and cons to each of those situations, you know. But one thing that is nice, oh, actually, is since they have the different, let's see, Where was it? I know, now we can get the high ground on this resupply pod. Since they're going to have different illuminate, like, mission modifiers, basically, what they said. Yeah, mindless masses. And then I assume appropriators will become another one or something similar to that. So we might be able to see more clearly like what we're dealing with. Like mindless masses presumably would be the medium armor and below, and maybe the appropriator version would be medium armor and above a little bit more or something like that. Yeah. That would be my guess anyway. Because it's already in game where we have the mindless masses. They updated that today, so that's pretty cool. I can finally do a true Resident Evil run without having to worry about stingrays, I hope. So that will make me very happy. Because honestly, like the way the voteless zombies work in this game, it's really satisfying to me. Like I really, really like just going in there with like pistols and shotguns and all that stuff. But when stingrays and harvesters and all that stuff comes around, then it kind of throws a wrench in the fun. So let's see. Yeah, grenade launcher reverted to medium because they said that it overshot what they were trying to do. One true flag is despised by the enemies of democracy and will attempt to target anybody waving it. I like that. I mean, that makes sense to me. That fits. I know some people wanted like a morale boosting effect or something like that. And Arrowhead didn't want to do that because they felt like it leaned too far into magic, basically, for what they wanted. And, you know, fair enough. It doesn't bother me. I like the idea that it basically has aggro. And they managed to pull it off in a way that kind of makes sense, like thematically, so that's pretty cool. That's clever. Breaching Hammer, buff the damage, so now you can kill behemoth chargers if you hit them in the head, square in the face. Maxi gun has 1,000 rounds now, which is good. I kind of wondered why it was 750 when it's called the M1000 in the first place. That was kind of weird. But more bullets is good. Laser cannon finally got its laser beam length upgraded from 200 meters to 1,000 meters, so now it matches the other laser guns. That's good. Oh, that's like real nice actually, because now you can be blasting like spore towers and shrieker nests and just so much more stuff from super duper far away. I'm very happy about that. Laser cannon connoisseurs rejoice. GL-28 belt-fed grenade launcher got 20 more rounds, and it retains its AP4, so that more firmly establishes its role relative to the other grenade launcher. De-escalator, faster reload, 2 seconds faster on full reload, and about 1 second faster for an individual reload, which is nice. That thing was pretty slow. And then same thing for the autocannon. It got bumped up a little bit faster, half a second faster for individual, and 1 second faster for everything, or like a full reload. What's up, Krieg? Thanks for stopping by, dude. Yeah, we're just looking over all these goodies. Pretty exciting patch notes so far. Let's see, the C4 is now, its weapon function switch matches everything else, so that's nice. And Exosuit's step damage zone was reduced, so now Helldivers and enemies, well, specifically for Helldivers, they showcased how you don't have to be as afraid of getting stepped on whenever you're like, you know, 5 feet away or whatever. Yeah, the autocannon buff, well, yeah, that was a little bit surprising. But I guess they did it. Well, they buffed a lot of things in terms of reload speed in particular. Just a little bit. Improved the pacing. Which is cool. I mean, things have gotten, you know, a little bit quicker, especially at the harder difficulties. So that's a good way to buff things, I think, without it being just damage and armor penetration and all that kind of stuff, right? Presumably that will not affect team reload, because team reload is already super quick. Let's see. Yeah, so in general, the small to medium stuff is going to get confused and panicked when they're being actively flamethrowered in the face. So that'll be nice. It will not linger, presumably the same way that the sterilizer does, which lingers for about 9 or so seconds after you douse them with it. So they're still different. But that's a welcome change that everybody has wanted to have some kind of reaction to the flamethrower. They always seem to find a way to buff the autocannon, yeah. Well, I know that the one dude, it's his favorite, and even in the patch notes video, he was joking about how it's the perfect weapon. Who team reloads the autocannon? I mean, who team reloads in general, right? But everybody tends to just judge things on solo performance, which is, in my opinion, a mistake to only judge them that way. But yeah, I mean, anytime you team reload one of those weapons, like their output just is skyrockets, you know. Crash fixes, all that kind of stuff. Yay. Weapons and stratagem fixes. Cyborg armor will now break correctly with lasers. Bunch of other stuff. Orbital lasers will no longer target enemies inside of caves. Well, that's nice, because there were plenty of instances where that would waste like almost your entire laser. Oh, you do? You team reload the stuff? All right, all right. Good, as you should sometimes. Fixed stratagems bouncing on fuel depots and factory cities. Guard dog won't get in the way on terminals anymore. Be nice if it wouldn't shoot me in the head whenever I'm on the terminal sometimes. 4 arc grenades instead of 3. That's a nice little mini buff. And other stuff. Oh yeah, and they said that the melee weapons are now more accurate with the stats that they have. I want to look at that actually. Let's see. Let's take a gander at what that looks like in the game. Oh, would you look at that? Yeah, damage, attack speed, and stamina drain. So 165, 1.0, and 005. Okay. 188, 1.28, and 005. Oh, wow. Decimal places. We haven't seen decimal places displayed in-game before, have we? I don't think so. Right? Yeah, this is the first time we've seen any decimal places displayed inside the game. What a time to be alive! Oh, thanks, Krieg. Okay, well that's pretty good. 0.5, 1.0. It's interesting that so far the stamina drain on all of these is the same, even though they have different damages and attack speeds. Though that's kind of weird. You'd think that they would be slightly different on some of these, but I guess. Yeah, I mean, I guess that can make sense. Damage and attack speed swinging the same, you know, different stuff. But fuse times. Oh yeah, you're right. Fuse time, yeah. It does have 1 decimal space. I guess this is the first time we've seen 2 decimal spaces. In any case, it's still exciting to me. But you're right. Yeah, the fuse time does already have a decimal. One decimal place versus 2 decimal places. I wonder why they decided to make it 2, though. Well, obviously it's because the attack speeds vary that much, I guess. And I'm guessing this is what? 1 attack per second? Is that right? I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, that's true. You will drain more stamina more rapidly if you so. Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder though, because it sets it up to where eventually we'll get weapons that maybe are doing more stamina drain per swing and more, I would assume, damage, and maybe have like a much slower attack speed or something. But the slowest one we have so far is the machete at 0.5, and it's got the most damage at 300. So, that'll be interesting. I'm kind of curious to see if we get weapons eventually that, you know, modify the stamina drain per swing instead. Pretty cool though. Okay. So, get through the rest of these patch notes. Oh, they removed the glitch that let you take multiple of the same stratagem. I never did jump on that train. I guess that would have been fun, but I just kind of didn't care. Let's see. Fixed brood commanders not summoning reinforcements when detecting a client player. Okay. Overseers now stagger when their armor and shields are destroyed. Good, good. That'll feel real good. That'll make certain weapons in particular feel a lot better, like that don't naturally have enough stagger built into them. Now that you do get stagger just by breaking their armor and shields, that's a really nice change actually. That we're probably going to feel that one in a very positive way. You feel like in general your weapons are going to feel more visceral, I guess, or just feel better in general. That was fun. The stratagem duplicate, yeah. I'm sure it was. Let's see. Unarmored limbs attached to the Hive Guard's protective front legs now have lower armor. What were they? Light armor? Now they're just unarmored or something? I don't remember. Surge modifiers were spawning more enemies than intended, so that's a nice fix. Vox engine changes, reduced spawn rate, reduced upper body turn rate. That'll be real nice. A little bit, let's see, increase the spread of main cannon shots, so slightly less sniper capable. MG turrets on the side will now die instantly when the Vox engine dies. Thank goodness. That was kind of frustrating how they would be blowing up, but the little side turrets would keep on targeting you. And now the Vox engine tries to avoid shooting targets with its main cannons on targets that are too close. Okay, so they won't be able to just aim straight down with their super mega death cannons. That's a nice change too. Fixed an issue where enemies could walk through the Vox engine's tracks to attack the player. Well, yeah, I'm happy to see that. That definitely got me a few times. Fixed a bug that would cause Bastion tanks to be launched into the upper atmosphere when running over cars on colonies. Well, I mean, I guess that's all right. I mean, just last night I was playing on the Illuminate front and I frickin' had a I rolled out of the car and I got catapulted. Actually, do I still have that? Let's see. Let's see, shall we? Oh no, I deleted it already. Oh well. It's on my thumb drive. But yeah. You know, ragdoll physics and all that kind of stuff, I guess. Whatever. Fixing the issue where scout walkers with rockets would not die when those rockets were shot. Stealth divers were oh, I thought that was like a deliberate change. And I thought it was actually okay because you could still shoot the rockets, they explode, and then you shoot like 1 or 2 bullets from something like a Liberator at their leg joint on the same side that you destroyed the rockets, and they went down. So I actually didn't mind that change. I thought I thought it was intentional. I thought it was kind of cool, but that's okay. Fixed a bug where levers on cyborg assembly unit would not work if you were killed or ragdolled while interacting with them. Okay, good fixes. You know, it's so interesting because, you know, if you look at places like Reddit or the Steam community posts and even like a plethora of YouTube content, you know, people were complaining mightily about stuff like the Vox engine in particular with the way I mean, hell, I even complained about it, at least on my own. It was like, oh, this sucks. Like, that's got to be a glitch or whatever, right? And people tend to conflate that with like asymmetric realism and like rules for thee and not for me and blah 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 and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, dude, it just fucking launched with problems. They'll get to it. Hopefully. I mean, I know there's some stuff that lasts for forever, and like flesh mobs glitching through enemy or through terrain and stuff, and that still sucks. And I wish they would fix it, but you know, they do work on this stuff. Just you know, we don't know exactly their constraints or all the reasons behind stuff, but at least the Vox engines should be doing better now. I'll be interested to see what the new wave of, what is it? The people are saying antagonistic dungeon master syndrome or whatever bullshit. Yeah, Krieg, so have I every now and then, especially on like mounds of rocks or whatever. The gas mortar does look pretty good. Amen, Norm. Amen, indeed. Okay, so PS5, social invite stuff, logins, error messages, red lighting, minor issue, UI. Foliage was slowing projectiles. So does that mean that we can now just shoot through shrubbery now? Because I remember that being a thing for a very long time, if it's the same thing I'm thinking about. It's kind of the job of the game master to place roadblocks for the players to overcome. Yeah, I agree. I know I saw a lot of people complaining whenever we failed the most recent major order, like, because we were, I don't know, like 2 million radicals short or whatever. And then they're just like, how dare you, Arrowhead? And like, it's like, bro, like, learn to fail sometimes, you know? It's like, it's not that big a deal. I mean, in the past, when we failed stuff, we see it get incorporated into the follow-up content. And now that's exactly what happened. They acknowledged that we were close. And so, like, we got the 2 planets liberated, but we didn't quite hit the radical or agitator kill count. So it said that their army remains strong, but we still got some kind of credit for the 2 planets. And it's like, man, people really be treating this like it's a single player game with a story element and you just got the bad ending and now everything sucks. And yeah, it's like, dude, what the heck? I just don't get it. It's like, take a breath, bro. But maybe I'm too lenient on stuff like that. I don't know. I enjoy the story beats, but I don't really get bent out of shape over it. Stuff like that. Okay, now we can melee while falling or using the lift 850 jump pack. I'm very happy about this one in particular for the smashing hammer, the breaching hammer, because previously you had to wait kind of until your feet were basically on the ground. Oh yeah, Creek. Yeah, thanks, man. Maybe I'll try and do that as well to clip this mini rant. But yeah, a lot of stuff like that. It's just people. Sometimes they get too caught up in things, I think, and I know what it's like. I mean, I've done that before myself, but you know, everybody's different, I guess. Let's see. So yeah, so now we can melee while falling or using the lift 850. So that's good. Fixed weapons with stationary reload being reloadable while using the jump pack. So no more jump pack reloading in midair. Sorry, guys. For the stationary reload specifically. It was a nice little technique, you know, but it's gone. Illuminate overships can now only be destroyed by the planetary defense cannon. I guess that means we can't use the tank, the Bastion tank anymore, so that's all right. A lot of good stuff in here, honestly. Like, I'm pretty happy with this stuff. this back to normal size for me. And then known issues. Well, players who use the Microsoft IME languages are unable to type Korean, Japanese, and Chinese. Network desync can cause SEAF artillery shells to not be inserted properly, causing a soft lock of that objective. Okay. Explosives can cause Helldivers hidden behind terrain to ragdoll. Weapon customization doesn't correctly display stats for sway and reload times. City defend events don't show the correct Super Earth controlled city biome. Some attachments and their stats are not changed in preview until purchasing and equipping. The sensor extended mag upgrade does not correctly reduce magazine count. Okay, so that's just like a wholesale benefit right now that will get fixed eventually. Enemies target host immediately when throwing silent throwables. Yep, so that's a known issue. Destroying the airbase control tower with a portable hell bomb before the objective calls for its destruction will soft lock the objective. Okay, that explains that. Melee kills are not being correctly counted in the end of mission stats or career stats. Well, that is just freaking terrible. That's like the one that bothers me the most. You can't be like robbing me of my melee kill credits. What is it, Norm? What is it? Okay, let's see. Not sure why, but I don't seem to suffer from that problem with silent throwables. Yeah, so I think it's not constant, but it definitely happens often. So, you know, it's some kind of host versus client thing. They're fixing explosions going through walls. Well, it's part of the known issues list, Norm, which is what I'm reading. Yeah, so it's my guess would just be that, you know, some of these things are just more complicated than others or something, you know, who knows? I mean, there's a lot of physics involved all by itself when it comes to the ragdoll mechanics and all that kind of stuff, like collision interfaces and everything. Like, so just from like a mathematical standpoint alone, it's pretty complicated. And then you add in the fact that you have a game engine that they have to overhaul on their own and everything since it's not supported officially and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, a lot of moving parts, a lot of complicated stuff. So some of this, it really just doesn't surprise me that it takes a while for some things. Granted. All right, Krieg. Thanks a lot, man, for stopping by. I'll catch you later. But yeah, some things, like, it's totally understandable to me that some stuff takes longer than others. Some things persisting for many months or in excess of a year or whatever like that, I have less leeway. Flesh mobs and all that kind of stuff clipping through terrain, like, it's annoying. But at this point, I've also just kind of come to expect it, and it's not as much of a bother to me, because to me, it kind of is like it's almost like a dumb bug that leans into, like, horror survival jump scare stuff, and I don't mind that in a way, right? Like, it should be fixed, and I want it fixed. But for now, I'm also just kind of like, I like the Resident Evil games and things like that. So from that perspective, it doesn't bother me. I don't know. But, you know, ideally they would get all these collisions and physics issues sorted out sooner than later. Because in general, I try to just find, like, you know, how can I overcome this thing anyway? And if I'm able to overcome it in spite of it being, like, nonsensical or unfair or whatever, that just makes me feel better about myself. And it's like, yeah, like, it's like I don't care. Like, not that I don't care. That's not the right word. It's like the ability to overcome adversity is like a useful thing to do no matter what. So And unless I'm getting tired or hungry, I don't generally rage out about stuff. But if I am tired or hungry, man, I can just really start raging out and bitching and moaning like anybody else. So a lot of times I think people just need to eat a snack or take a nap. So, all right, well, that wraps it up for that. Let's see, this is the same thing. Roadmap, we went over that. The Entrenched division. Does the torture slow enemies approaching you? Flame sentries, mortars. Yeah, I would assume that it's all flamethrower weapons. The way it was written in the patch notes is that it was just flamethrowers in general. Will now apply the slowing and confuse and panic effect while they're actively flamethrowing something directly. It's written like it's not going to linger the way something like the sterilizer effect does, but it should be everything that is a flame. Yeah, because it just says flamethrowers here in general. It doesn't specify any in particular fire weapon. All right, so that's all there is for the patch notes and all that other stuff, roadmap, Giga Grenade, blah, blah, blah. Let's test some flamethrowers. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see. Oh, what's that? This item is temporarily disabled. Huh, I don't remember seeing that earlier. I wonder what happened with the pummeler. It's been some kind of new issue must have been discovered, huh? We have noticed the, oh yeah, there it is in the Discord. We have noticed the bug with the pummeler where it is unable to be reloaded. Due to this, we have disabled it for now. Huh. Some of these things are so random, but it's like, why would it be unable to be reloaded? But that's how complicated stuff gets sometimes, I guess. Interesting. And they just like hotfix that one like right on the fly too. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. All right. Let's do a little bit of... Okay, I was just going to put on all the flame weapons real quick here. Where's that torture at? Now, I don't think any of the incendiary grenades are going to do anything because it's not like actively spewing fire at them. They just have to walk through it, but we'll find out. Maybe the pyrotech grenade will do it though, because that one is kind of like, yeah, let's try that. I bet that'll do something. All right. Dispatch, massive wave of boatless on Keezy Bay. Okay. I'm gonna just roll down on low diff because I just want to see this stuff play out. Let's get a countryside map. That's a good question. And the coyote to the face, yeah. Guess we'll wait and see. I would imagine probably not though, because I think that's considered a. Well, I don't know. I would just assume probably not, because it's not a. It's a status effect attached to the projectiles as opposed to like the flamethrowers. Like it uses like a different like particle type to deal the damage. So I'm gonna. My guess would be that it's not gonna be the same thing. But if it is, that'd be pretty freaking crazy. All right, so let's get some incendiary mines. We'll get the flame sentry, the flame shroa. And we'll do the napalm airstrike too. What do you think, Dan? How's it looking? Yeah, the charger charging a sentry, the flame sentry. It should, in theory. What was that? Am I crazy, or did I just see some kind of... Okay, I don't know.
Deploying equipment package. Sending down support weapon.
Alright, we got our flamer. Torture and flamethrower, right? So this is the mindless zombie horde. Okay, so there's still a dude man. Let's get this torture and see. Yeah, he stepped back a little bit. I don't know. Oh my god, there's so many. Yeah, look at that. It confuses them just for a moment, and then when you stop, they start to auto-track back onto you. Of course, these things die pretty quickly anyway, but... So that definitely seems to work. Good, good, good. Like there's a horde there. Let's get this flame sentry going.
Sending down sentry.
No, I don't want it. I don't want it. So the Overseer doesn't look like it really reacted too much, but it definitely just like stopped moving and attacking, I guess. Maybe that's part of it. Well, unfortunately that wasn't the best placement. I couldn't really see what happened with the flame sentry, but we'll see. They definitely start getting panicked and confused randomly there, like with their movement, so that's pretty cool. Yep, he did the same thing. He wandered off. Looked like it lingered for like 1 second after I stopped firing. And then he started to track back toward me. Of course, he burned to death immediately, so. They said that heavier enemies like factory striders, you're not going to see it happen. But I wonder what it's going to do with the harvesters. Or if they're still just going to zap me to death immediately. Step on a mine. Okay. Man, they really are a lot of zombies up in here. Oh my god. They're everywhere. Walking through the fire, dude. Oh crap. I'm gonna be careful here. I'm gonna get Zambini'd. Get this thing's attention, hopefully. Ah! Blue beam of death. Alright. Come get me, big ugly. If I put down this sentry, though, with this, it'll be a problem. So I need to Oh, shit. Alright, let's see what happens now. Get this guy a little bit more over here. Does he get stunned or panic? No, he does not. Not that I really expected it to, but, you know, just to confirm.
Request approved. Deploying reinforcements. Joining the fray.
They still die pretty quick to flames, though. You just gotta not get zapped to death by their close range stuff. Alright. Where's my stuff? Well, let's see about the...
Deploying sentry.
the flesh mobs. Gotta take a look at those, too. So I can't really tell if these things are getting slowed down by the flames. I don't know why the thing just stopped shooting completely there for a second while it was getting... Oh, it was targeting these things instead of the stuff that was right beside it. Does that make sense? Yeah, that made them disperse quite a lot. That's pretty good. Like, you could definitely see them breaking their auto-tracking onto me and freaking out. So, that's not too bad.
Deploying equipment package.
Need to go kill this laser thing, because that's messing me up a little bit. Oh yeah, the pyrotech. Let's see what that does. Maybe? Not really sure. I'll need to use that on a chunkier target to find out, I think. Oh my god, there's so many zombies. Oh no, I didn't see the mine. Oh my god, I made a mistake. Okay, anyway. He's looking at me. Another one. Man, they got a lot of those dang things. Alright, I need a flesh mob is what I need. New ruins looking stuff, that's pretty good.
Sending down sentry.
Definitely going off flames is rough whenever you've got those thingamajiggers in the way. No! I deliberately put that to not be there. And I made a mistake. Do you get confused? Kinda looks... Yeah, it does. That's awesome. Flesh mobs do get confused. What a good change. Alright, well that pretty much does it for all that, I guess. I mean, as expected, harvesters don't really seem affected, but everything else... I wonder if hulks and stuff are going to get affected by it. Ugh. Alright. I think that's pretty much does it for that. What about that? Seems like that does a little bit to him, but that could have been the other guy. Okay, well that's enough for now. Okay, so flesh mobs and the overseers, it definitely works on them. Harvesters, it does not. And it definitely works on the voteless. They just tend to cook like really fast. So that is a very good change. I couldn't really tell for sure about the Flame Sentry versus the voteless. It looked like it wasn't doing anything to them, which is kind of weird, but it was hard to tell. I didn't really get a good positioning on it. We'll see later. Okay. I guess I could go to the bots. The main thing I'm wondering about with the bots is whether or not it's going to affect hulks. My assumption would be, well, probably not, because I think in the notes it was mainly like medium enemies and below, but hulks are heavy, so they probably won't. Or maybe they will, it just takes longer for the status effect to build up on them or something. Let's see, is there like a kill the Hulk operation somewhere? Oh, and by the way, this is the armor that's in the Superstore along with the Entrenched division. And man, I really like that. I was hoping they would be adding a heavy variant, and they did not disappoint. I mean, look at this thing. It looks like armor out of like one of the Souls games, like Elden Ring or Dark Souls or something. That just looks so good. I love it. Very knightly. Even the visor is, you know, like that classic narrow eye-opening style and all that stuff with the riveting and all that. Dude, I freaking love this armor. This armor looks so good. Explosive resist and higher armor rating. Like, I might never take this armor off. This is this is so good. I love this thing. The looks are on point. The passive, I really like that passive. Armor rating and explosive resist. I mean, and they've actually finally, like, they've added in it's atypical. It's not just 25% armor. I mean, it's a little bit more. Maybe 30, I don't know. Instead of 150 or 200 or 175, it's 180. So it's just a little bit north of 25% armor rating. Yeah, but this thing just looks so freaking good. I love it. I really love it. It's like, in some sense, it's like this went back a little further beyond the entrenched division days, all the way back into like medieval times with the way that this looks. But I'm all for it. Okay, anyway. So we know we got fire for that. Let me put on the new guns a little bit here. I'm real curious about this shotgun. And then we already got, let's see, they said we know the maxi gun has more ammo now, so nothing's really testing there. Belt fed is the same, it has 20 more ammo, so that's good. I don't need to test that. The original grenade launcher is now medium pen again, so that's cool. They said this, the C4 pack, they just adjusted the toggle placement. Not a big deal there. I'm gonna I'll bring the jump pack, and I'll bring the flamethrower, I'll bring the sentry again. don't think I really need to do anything other than that right now, so... Yeah, okay. Cool.
Let them come. Let them brawl. Let them face the insurmountable might of the Helldivers.
Okay, we'll go over to a smaller section. Alright, so the shotgun, first things first. Now this is supposed to be slam fire mode, which is full auto. Oh, okay. Not bad. Technically, you can slam fire pretty much any shotgun that's pump action like that. But, I mean, I guess the case can certainly be made that some are more built for it than others. That's not what I wanted to happen. Okay. Guess I'm gonna go take out this mortar base. Because it's raining on my parade, literally, with explosives.
Warning, you are in range of enemy artillery. Firing orbital strike.
Did that bounce? Good enough.
Objective critical stratagem available.
Let's drop that right in. Oh, man. Look at that. These reload animations, man. Oh,
Tactical asset well
the flamethrower targeted the mortar. I didn't expect it to do that. That's pretty cool. Dude, that's awesome. Good job, Flame Sentry. You get a gold star. Alright, so this shotgun's medium pin, right? So if I get to the vent, this thing should... how can I get up here without, like... Grab it! Ugh! It wouldn't grab it, okay. It works! As expected.
Objective critical stratagem no longer available.
Okay. Cool. Let's see if we can find a Hulk somewhere. Oh yeah, this has the bayonet on it. You hear that sound? It's got a nice little shing sound to it. That's pretty cool. I have a feeling this shotgun is going to be a fan favorite. At least for me. Hey, it pushed him off of the thing, it looked like.
Sending down sentry.
Do they get stunned? Yeah, he looked like he started to turn away from me. I mean, they die so fast, but... the direct flame was definitely confusing them.
Firing orbital strike. Outpost cleared.
Alright, no Hulks though. Maybe there's some over here. Decent range for a shotty. Whew. Ow. Stab. I missed. Stab. What is happening right now? There we go. Well, the range on that is really tiny. Tinier than I expected. It seems like maybe that's not quite registering correctly, because my melee weapon is definitely piercing through their bodies in some of those, and it wasn't hitting them. Look at that. Yeah, they need to tighten that up a little bit, I think. Uh-oh. For sure. I like the way this shotgun sounds. That's pretty nice. Ooh, ate that one. Oh, is that a Devastator? It is a Devastator. Let's do the cookery.
Objective critical stratagem no longer available.
Hard to say, but I mean, they die so quick, but it kind of looked like it was
Objective critical
doing the panic.
Hellbomb request approved. Deploying now. Deploying sentry.
Let's see what Sentry do. Be confused! Be confused! He looked confused. He just died really fast. Because it broke his targeting lock on me, at least. Some of this stuff is going to be a little bit harder to tell if the enemy doesn't have enough HP. So probably Berserkers would be more noticeable. We already saw it on Flesh Mobs. We could see it on the Overseers. He's like, what? Right on top of his head. Oh. I missed. That was completely on purpose there. Let's see if we can melee this dude. Okay, well that time it hit. I don't know why sometimes it seems like it doesn't do the thing. Will this blow these up from the outside? I don't remember. It's been a while since I used them. It will damage them, but it doesn't look like it's enough to kill them in one. Just better to dunk it. I don't see any Hulks. I'm gonna have to go higher diff. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, let's get another one. We'll find some Hulks. But it does look like it. I mean, the flamethrower, to me, it looked like it was applying the confuse. Roasted Devastator. Yeah. It definitely seems like it's working on all of the fire weapons, though. I feel pretty confident in that at this point. Which is nice. All right. Huh. That's weird. There was like a glitch earlier where this didn't show me the customization option, but now it says, oh, you know what? It's because I was like logged in whenever the stuff like came out, so it is customizable. So let's take a gander here. Let's see, what was the shotgun is what was in this no, Superstore, right? Yeah, the shotgun and the heavy armor. Really like that armor. This thing has got pretty good damage too. 504 medium pen per shot. How does that compare to the other stuff, actually? This is 840. And that's per shell, right? Pretty sure. 605 light. So I know a lot of people were wanting the M90A shotgun to become medium pen, but now we have a medium pen option, so... And it's a slam fire, which is pretty interesting. Let's see, we can get different optics. We can get a 4X combat scope. That's so silly. I would probably just do the holographic, if anything. And then, of course, we can get chokes, which is always good. All right. Works for me. Probably never going to use a different color scheme on this because look at how beautiful this gun is just by default. That fluted barreling. Kind of interesting. It's the not fluted barreling, but it's fluted heat shielding, because since this is a slam fire weapon, it would be accumulating heat a lot more quickly, comparable to something like an assault rifle. So it has that heat shielding to help protect the user from burning their hands on the barrel, and the shielding itself is fluted to, I guess, further facilitate the heat dissipation. So pretty cool. That's a beefy bayonet looking deal too. I mean, that's legit, like a World War style bayonet. Pretty big. Seemed like the hitbox might be a little bit off, like just a little bit too short. They might need to do a little bit of tightening up on that, but I'll have to mess with it some more to be sure. I like this gun. This looks a lot like well, I mean, it's a trench shotgun, so it's like, what is that, the model? Is it the 18? I can't remember. I own one of these things. Not this, it doesn't look exactly like this, but... Does this have the external hammer? I wasn't paying attention. No, it doesn't. So it's not exactly like it, actually. So never mind. Disregard. There's a certain type of shotgun that has an external hammer on the back, which is pretty cool looking. It's kind of similar in design to this. I can't remember what it's called. Was it an 1897? Model 1897, I think. It's like I think it's a Winchester? I don't know. But in any case, this... Let's see. World War I trench shotgun. It is the Winchester model 1897. Okay, so this is just based on that. Yeah, the 1897 by John Browning. Winchester Model 1897 trench gun was a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun used by U.S. troops in World War I for close-quarters trench combat. Known for its slam-fire capability, rapidly firing while holding the trigger, it held 5+1 rounds and featured a heat shield, bayonet lug, and 20-inch barrel, earning a reputation for high, brutal efficacy. Yeah, well, look at that. There it is. Mine doesn't have the heat shield on it. And I don't have a bayonet for it either. Or any of that stuff. It's just like the stripped down bare version. Probably that's like a civilian version or something. I don't know. World War I, Winchester. Okay, so about the only thing it looks like they didn't include on this is the external hammer. So they like sort of made a composite version, or maybe it's just more like the World War II specific version, the Stevens. Looks more similar to the Stevens, I guess. It's definitely kind of a mashup of between the Stevens and the Winchester 1897. Yeah, the port on the sweeper definitely looks a lot more like the World War II version, and the fact that the hammer is not external. So this is mainly going to be based on the World War II version, I guess, which makes sense, I guess. I have the World War I version, the Winchester Model 1897. But I don't have all the extra crap on top of it, which is a shame. Yeah. So when we're looking at this, it definitely matches the World War II variant. A lot more. The port, in particular, lack of external hammer. And just the overall design matches it way more. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, man. I love it when I do stuff like that. Mm-hmm. What a pretty looking gun. It really is. To me, at least. Anyway, okay. Enough of me fawning over weapons. Okay. Okay, so there's that. So the effective range on this is pretty standard for a shotgun, I think. About 25 meters and in, I believe. This is a really, really strong option. Like, I'm impressed. Let's see, what's the total reserved? How many shots did this have? This had like 70 shots, didn't it? I'm a little confused, actually, because I wonder what the trade-offs are. I'll be interested to see what the like what the wiki page stuff kind of reveals as they dig through the details. Let's see if they've got that up yet, shall we? War bonds. Entrenched division. Still under construction. Okay, what about the superstore items? The sweeper, right? Yeah, it's not even there yet, so. Okay. Yeah, it'll take a little time. That's all right. But that's interesting because if we're looking, right? So we got this one, 405 light armor pen, and this one comes with what, like 60 shells total? This one I'm pretty sure had the same or more. I wonder how the damage difference is gonna play out. Oh, I see what it is. Okay. So it's loaded with armor-piercing flechettes. And of course it's loaded with flechettes. Because it's a trench gun, so it's just War Crime Central. That's amazing. Okay. Now I see. So the spread and damage fall off, I guess, is gonna be different. Like the shot grouping won't be quite as good. So if you want to reach out a little bit more, yeah, okay, I see it. I see what's happening. Whereas this one is a little bit tighter. You can reach out and hit stuff. It'll be similar to this. But if you just want the more consistent, tighter grouping a little bit farther out for the shotgun, then you're going to probably want to use something like the Punisher. But this, if you stay in close and just barrel stuff a target, it's going to absolutely shred. Makes sense. Makes sense. I get it. That's awesome. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm going to have to take a little break, I think. Get some food and all that kind of jazz. Come back later and we'll look more at the Stoker. This is all right though. I briefly dropped in with it. I mean, it's a good SMG. I mean, it's high damage, which makes sense. I mean, I think whenever I did the preview assessment, I was like, this is either going to be a high damage light pen or it's going to be like medium pen. And it's one-handed, so one-handed light armor with relatively high damage makes sense. So this is going to be kind of, I guess, kind of an in-between option between the Defender and the Reprimand based on the damage profile and stuff, right? Let's see. Defender has 7 mags, 45 capacity. And this one has 45 capacity and 5 mags, so I'm guessing that the total damage output's going to be similar, but the profile is set up, front loads it a little bit more with the Stoker, and of course, it's got the flamethrower on it, which is pretty neat. Cool, cool, cool. I like how they managed to usually pull off these side grades to be meaningful without being outright better. So, pretty nuts. I like it. All right. Was that the last? Oh yeah, the Veto. I still got stuff I gotta unlock, so we'll still have to look at that later. The Giga Chad grenade is basically just, I mean, it's more direct damage. It can only be thrown about 30 meters or so. It has the same demo force as the dynamite. And it's an impact grenade. So it's definitely, and you only get 2 of them. So it is a side grade to the dynamite in that regard. Dynamite gets more grenades. You can throw it farther. You can use it to bait, you know, at the timer. And if you're using it for demolition destruction, you're not leaving as much raw damage output on the table. So pretty cool. Like if this one though, it definitely matches the trench warfare flavor by having that reduced throwing range and the heavier emphasis on like tank destruction. Because you know you're going to be up in the thick of it, so you wouldn't, you know, you have to be closer just to deal with the shorter throwing range. So, but more anti-tank emphasis compared to the TED dynamite. So that's all right. That is all right by me. And then of course I still gotta get this cremator later and the Veto. Hey, it is medium. Yeah, this is basically, I think this is gonna be basically the baby secondary version of the Dominator. So that's pretty cool. Looks pretty slick too. All right. Alrighty then. Well, I'm going to pause it there for today, or at least for right now. Take a break, and I will catch you all